Hello and welcome to Advent of Code Day 2. Again, we will try to solve all puzzles of Day 2, which should be 2 puzzles, and we will do it in Kotlin. There's just one problem. I just did it. I recorded it, and then I just looked at the recording and realized, hey, I've been recording my face, but not my screen.
Get used to disappointment.
So the recording is useless, and I was wondering, what should I do? Should I just re-record it? But that would be weird. Since I already wrote the solution, I would just write it again, and that would not be authentic, I guess. So I decided I will just show you my solution and guide you through it. Okay, so let's look at the puzzle. Today it's about our submarine. We get a list of commands, and I will just switch to IntelliJ and show you. So we have this long list of commands, and we need to track 2 values: the horizontal position of our submarine and the depth of the submarine. And basically we need to process this list and then come up with a value by multiplying the depth and the horizontal position that we calculated. So at the beginning I was wondering, how should I do this? We could essentially go through this list, see forward 8, forward 3, and while we are reading those commands we could immediately process them and calculate the current position and the depth. And the other option I was thinking about was we could first go through this list, pass it, almost like a programming language, create a list of commands, forward 8 steps, forward 3 steps, and then in a second step we process this list of commands. And I decided to do exactly this because I was wondering, yesterday the second part of the puzzle was building up on the first puzzle, and I was guessing that this is going to happen here as well, and it did. And so I thought having this split process where we first pass the list, create like an abstract syntax tree in a programming language that would be passed, and then in a second step we process it, like this 2-step process would be more flexible, and then when puzzle 2 comes around we can easily adapt. I think at the end it was actually needed, but still it had this flexibility and it was actually fun to write. So I first created this sealed interface for our commands with forward and steps, down and the steps, and up and the steps, and we essentially would create instances of those data classes for every command we see in this list. And that is exactly what this read course function does. It reads in the file, then maps over the lines. And this code might look weird, but what it essentially does, it splits the line into 2 strings and then takes the first string, and the second string will be turned into an int. And then we look at the string, and from that create the commands that we defined above. So what this read course function will return is a list of those command instances. And then the second thing was, I was wondering, should we now just run through the list, calculate those values, or should we be a little bit more fancy and create the submarine class that will get a process function and then process this list of commands? And that's what I essentially did. We added a horizontal position and depth, ignore the aim for now, and then added a process function. It loops over the commands that are passed in. For forward, it changes the horizontal position, and for up and down the depth. And then there's a solution function that does this multiplication, horizontal position times depth. That is the value that is needed to enter on the Advent of Code website. And essentially we then executed this code. First we read the course in. We had some debugging issues that I unfortunately can't replay now. But essentially we create a submarine pass in the course, and then get the solution, print it, enter it on the website, and it worked. And then part 2 didn't need the flexibility that I mentioned before. What it essentially did was changing the algorithm how commands are processed, and that is what I wrote, process new. So what is different in this solution is that there is an aim now, and whenever we get an up or down command, we actually only change the aim, and when we go forward, change the horizontal position and then the depth based on the aim. And then part 2 actually looks almost the same, essentially the same. We just call process new. Then we entered this value and we got 2 gold stars. That's it. Yeah, I'm curious how you like the solution, how you solved this problem, and yeah, what programming language are you using? And yeah, see you tomorrow, and I hope tomorrow I can actually have a proper recording again. All right, see ya, bye bye.